White balance. When you're shooting in the studio, you should always set your white balance in your camera. Never leave it on auto. What auto white balance does is it gives you inconsistencies between your frames, and it's leaving the decision making up to the camera. You want to take the control. Now there's a couple different approaches to getting correct white balance in the studio, and I'm going to tell you what I do personally. Now what I do is I actually on my camera set my white balance preset to flash, because I know it's going to get me really close to that correct white balance, specifically with my ProPhoto strobes. Now, once I have my lights all set, I also grab a shot of a gray card. Now, a gray card is something that I would put on your must-buy list, especially if you want to get skin tones actually accurate and you want to get rid of all of the guesswork and trying to get color correct. What a gray card does is it serves as a neutral reference point for you to achieve color accuracy in post. So let's actually pop over and take a look at how this works. There are a few things to keep in mind when you're trying to get the right white balance in the studio. Now, you need to have a gray card. And my recommendation is you don't just grab something that looks gray, because chances are it's got a little bit of a color cast to it. So what I recommend you do is you buy a gray card. There's a million different ones online. They even have them as lens cloths. Just be careful if it gets dirty, because then it's not gray anymore. But the one that I use in particular is the X-Rite Passport Color Checker, and I use the gray card. I'm going to show you the other option that it has as well. What you need to do is you need to hold it in between your subject and the light, right near your subject, and slightly pointed at the light. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be shooting tethered so that the images pop right up into my computer, and then I can show you what I do in post-processing to get the correct white balance. You don't need to shoot tethered. I mean, you can always just shoot, pop the card out, and get the white balance later on. This is not something you need to do during your shoot. It can be completely done after the shoot has wrapped. Now, if you have an assistant, you can have them hold the color checker, or if you have a real life person with arms, they can hold the gray card towards the light. But if you don't have anyone to help you out and you're shooting a mannequin like me, you can also set your timer to the 2-second timer, so you can just pop over, hold it for a shot. So that's actually what I'm going to do. Let's make sure. Got my 2-second timer. Great. And so I've got it popping up over here in my computer. Now let me show you one other thing. This particular gray card that I have is more than a gray card. It actually has completely other section to it that has all of these color swatches and all of these different options. Now, this is a little bit fancier, but it actually gives you a little bit more control. If you want to use this as a gray card, you can. There are neutral gray swatches at the bottom. And then also up here, you'll see this line of kind of neutral gray, because if you look at it, they actually go from a little bit warmer to cooler. And what that means is what we do is we go into Lightroom, or we go into Adobe Camera Raw, and we use the white balance eyedropper to select something neutral. So these are actually purely neutral. If I select them with the white balance eyedropper, it's going to suck out any of the color cast in the scene. It knows it's supposed to be neutral. Same thing with the gray card on the other side. It knows it's supposed to be neutral, so it will remove any color cast. These right here, however, they've got a little bit of a color tint on purpose. As you move over, it's actually got a little bit of a blue. So what happens is if you use the eyedropper on those, it sees the blue and it counteracts it and actually warms up the photo. So it's white balance, but where you have a little control to make the photo warmer or cooler. But that's actually not what this entire thing is intended for. There is another option that allows you to create custom color profiles, which makes sure that every single color is being correctly captured and represented by your camera. Have you ever taken a picture of like a bright blue shirt or maybe a red dress outside, and then you look in the back of your camera and it looks nothing like what you're seeing with your eye? That's because not every color is correctly captured by our cameras. And there's actually a plugin that you can install in Lightroom that allows you to detect this grid, and then it makes every color to the color it's meant to be. So that is if you want a little bit more control out of your color. Most of the time, all you need is a gray reference point. You can do it with a gray card, or if you've got a color checker, you can do it with one of these neutral swatches. Just be careful, if you're doing this, that you don't touch these different colors, because they're actually pigment and it will shift them. A lot of gray cards aren't pigment, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, so for demonstration purposes, real quick, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a picture of this color checker as well. And still on my timer. Perfect. Okay, so because I'm tethered, I have these popping up in my computer. I'm going to pop over here and show you how to get correct white balance. We're not actually going to go into the custom profile right now. I'm in Lightroom, I have my image here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the develop module. And in that module, in the top left-hand corner, there is a white balance eyedropper. So this is what I'm going to use to basically tell Lightroom, okay, in this scene, I know that this is neutral. Lightroom's gonna read that, it's gonna suck out any color cast. So I know that this is a neutral gray. I click on it, and you're gonna see a little bit of a color shift. And so what it's doing is it's getting rid of any tint or any unwanted color in the scene. You can do that with any gray card that you have. Let me show you about the color checker. Now, without getting into the custom color profile, I can also grab my eyedropper again, go down here to one of the neutral swatches, just any one of these gray, as long as there's detail. It can't be pure white or pure black. As long as there's detail, same thing, it shifts the color for me. Now, to show you one other variation of that, I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to grab my white balance eyedropper again, and we're going to go up to one of these top swatches, one of the swatches where you see as a profile of a person. If I go up to these top swatches, you can actually see when I go over further to the right, it's a little bit blue. They purposely have added blue, so when we pull out some of the blues, it's going to actually warm it up. So if I click to the far right, notice how it gives me a warmer tone than, say, let me go back to a regular white balance. Regular white balance is a little cooler, and it's much warmer when I select that far right bluish color swatch. The reason you might want to do this is if you look, the skin tones are a little bit warmer, they're a little bit more saturated, so this is really good mode if you're trying to warm up a portrait. Now, once you have this set, once you've gotten the white balance you want, what's great is you don't need to have this set in your camera. You could have shot your entire shoot, and now you can go ahead and sync it. You can apply it to all of the images you've shot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually back apply it to just the couple of photos that I have here. I'm selected on the photo where I made a change, so this last one, and then I'm going to hold the Shift key and then click back on the first photo. So it selects all of the photos I shot. And then, on the right-hand side, I'm going to go to sync and make sure that I have white balance checked. In this case, I haven't made any other changes, but you can sync up all of the changes. I hit synchronize, and now I will have the correct white balance for all of my photos. So that's how I do it in a shoot, is I'm not doing custom white balances or anything. What I do is once I get my light set, we take a picture of a color checker, and then I know that in post-processing, I can fix every photo to have beautiful and accurate skin tones.